And the slave master looks back at Judah Ben-Hur and says, and this is Lucifer now, this is the way if you fight it, he looks at him and goes, that's right, keep hating me. You will live longer and serve me better. So I'm going to suggest there's a way, if we get caught in the hate game, the anger game, the wanting to fight them, whoever they are, or the system, in a sick, twisted way, you can fall into fighting them. So it's a fine line here between exposing it, here's what's going on, and at the same time activating and staying strong in the good energy, the God energy, the source energy, the healthy energy. Otherwise you become a crazy crusader. Nobody likes that, Yeah, so there's a way here of exposing this. So I would suggest that we're getting now, there's a collective anger that's coming in America that's here at, we are pissed collectively that we can't see, there's a stalemate in Congress, Senate. The whole government is sort of ground to a halt. And here's something that amazes me continually. Whenever there's an election, it's not 80% want this candidate and 20% want that candidate. Hardly ever do you see those numbers. Occasionally. That's the exception if you see 70-30 in any kind of election, from dog catcher to president. It's hardly ever that way, right? And I'm blessed the dog catchers. But normally a presidential election is like, 51 to 49 or 50 point something in the popular vote, meaning the actual vote that people vote. Now, is that a house united or a house divided? When you have 51 or 52, 53% is considered a landslide?
Yeah.
That's 50. To reduce that to 100 people, that means 53 people said we want Tweedledum, and 47 said we want Tweedledummer.
Yeah, so best case scenario, at least 47% of the people are pissed.
Right. So basically the system has been engineered, I would suggest, or we've allowed it to become, instead of reasonable debate, right? Here's the debate at the original debate between people saying, let's throw out all the ideas to solve problem X, new roads, whatever it is. What should we do about war? All the way to war to, having new schools, whatever. Reasonable debate, and then once everyone's convinced this is the best option, then everyone gets behind that, or you might have a few 5% of the people that say, well, they still won't be willing to hear. Or at least 80% of the people with reasonable debate, true wanting exchange, true dialogue, dia means two, being willing to hear the other side and not being entrenched, committed to fight to the death just to be right. We'd rather be right than to do the right thing. We'd rather be right than to do the right thing. That's the basic problem. And so instead of having reasonable debate where we're looking for the right answer, we're not looking to be right. Then when we find the right answer, everybody gets behind it. That's united we stand. When it's my gladiator versus yours, and I'm never going to change my positions because I'm entrenched in it and I'm a career politician, you never look for what's right. You're just trying to bamboozle the people with image, hiring strategy firms and what's the best way we can get over on the others, and hiring strategists and image, and how shall I paint my teeth white, and how shall I dress my little boy and girl for my picture, and what can I not talk about, and strategies, we strategize a win. It's not about being truthful. No politician could get elected being truthful. Now that puts it squarely back on the people, us. If we're not ready to hear someone be real and say, yeah, I did that, I've done that, I've done it, then we still want to live and leave it to Beaverland, and we are in denial land. Then we get what Benjamin Franklin said, which is the people get the government they deserve. It is a reflection. Our government, collectively, is a direct reflection of the deadlock that we are inside ourselves, first and primarily, our spirit versus our heart versus our mind, the female versus the male inside us. We have a battle inside us. It's like the famous Indian chief that Carl Jung quotes. I'm still borrowing this from Eckhart Tolle. where the Indian chief says, the white people have tight, taut faces, and they can never relax. They're always looking for something. We don't know what they're looking for. We think they're insane. We can't relax. We have a battle inside us that reflects in the battle in Congress.
Absolutely, Tobias. Well said. But hold that right there. We will be right back after this short break. Tobias Lars on Truth Brigade Radio. Much for joining us here tonight. Truth Brigade on AmericanFreedomRadio.com with our special guest tonight, Tobias Lars. He is a personal awakening coach and the author of Listening to the Sun, which is one of my favorite books. SoulCounseling.com is the website. And if you have any questions or comments, 402-237-2525. That's 402-AFR2525. Or if you'd like to join us in the text chat, that's over at truthbrigade.com. Tobias, I mean, you're so right. It's, you know, and we're kind of chatting on the text chat about it, is being hopelessly deadlocked. I mean, people keep saying, oh, well, they've underestimated the people, and, oh, you know, we're going to stand up tomorrow, next year, I don't know, 2012, who knows when. But we're really, I mean, if you think about it, we're really not. When is enough enough? Where is that line?
Yeah, who knows? It's that old story most of us have heard, that, and I guess it's true. I've never tried it, nor am I going to, but I guess you can boil a frog. If you raise that temperature as 1 degree every 5 minutes, the frog will not jump out of the pot. He's not noticing he's getting boiled alive. And literally it will get so hot that that frog will boil or get killed from the heat. So are we being boiled alive? Yes, we are, with the encroachment of giving our power away bit by bit. Now, I just wanted to do this before we go into details about, you know, government stuff. Feel the difference here, if we could feel this. That saying I just heard, which was, if we want to be, if it's more important for us to find what's right and not for us to be right, then we will find solutions. Now, the original ideal of the Greek philosophers, the Greek discourses, the Greek exchanges, dialogues, was to have true dialogue. True dialogue is represented wonderfully by the quote I love by Paramahansa Yogananda, where he says, fools argue, wise people discuss. Fools argue, wise people discuss. But if you enter a debate, you know, or a dialogue with a fixed position, meaning I have hunkered down behind my stone wall, I am not willing to look at my position, I'm not willing to change my position, and this is how they program you that way. They'll have sayings like this: if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? And that programs you into thinking, just pick a position and stick to your guns. Well, that's pretty stupid. That's ridiculous. That's the statement of, you know, most people's minds are like concrete. Most people's minds are like concrete, all mixed up and permanently set. Right? We get up programming, and then we're not willing to go, well, you know, when I was 12 or when I was 23 or 45, that's how I thought or believed. But now I have new information, and I see a bigger picture. If we're not able to evolve, to change, to flow, to grow, how can we possibly expect anything to be different? That's that insanity quote. I guess we're doing a bunch of quotes here. If you do the same thing over and, you know, expecting different results, doing the same thing over and over again, that's insanity. So,
absolutely.
So the original discourses, dialogues, debates with the Greeks was not about who was going to be right. It was, here's what I'm bringing, Plato and Aristotle and whoever, Socrates. I don't know if they were contemporaries, but if they were contemporary philosophers, they would get together, not to prove their point, but to find a newer point, a new truth. They were willing to let go of their position, 1 plus 1 is not 1 fighting 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 plus another person discussing becomes 3. We find what's right, we advance. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever seen, first of all, C-SPAN is so boring, if you ever can't go to sleep, turn it on, you'll be asleep in 2 minutes, right? But have you ever watched at least the British House of what do they call it? Not the House of Lords, but the Common House of Commons. At least it's entertaining the way the Brits do it. Right? There's some yelling and screaming and some making fun and some histrionics and anyhow. Have you ever seen in our debates on the floor of our Senate or House, or on CNN, or on Fox, or MSNBC, have you ever seen anywhere where pick me one place, I challenge all of us, one time in the last 50 years, anywhere, where a political pundit, a Republican and a Democrat, has ever said to the other, I can hear your point. That's interesting. I can see that. Maybe we could find a new way between the two of us. Have you ever seen that? They are simply entrenched like concrete mines, all mixed up and permanently set, and taking pot shots. They're popping their head up over the wall. They're in the foxhole, popping their head up over the wall, trying to pop off a soundbite that'll get the other person. They're just shooting, trying to get the other person. It is not trying to find common ground. It is not trying to find the right thing. It is gladiatorial politics. You might as well just stick frickin', brass knuckles and giant weapons on these people and chop their heads off, because that's what they're doing. When I realized this, and I think that, isn't that sad? In our Senate,
winning.
In our Senate, it is not about finding the right thing. It is about being right and winning. It is the adversarial system. What does that mean? Adversarial system means two pit bulls in a pit fighting to the death. Adversaries. Like, not my pit bull lawyer against yours. Now, it is
we carry it out in the communities. We do that with our neighbors or whoever we come across. Oh, my gosh, are you a Republican?
Right.
Oh, my gosh, you're a Democrat?
Yeah, as within, so without. I'm going to get to that. Now, is it any surprise that we train and program our lawyers and our people that, what? The adversarial system, meaning fighting to the death, that's what that means, my adversary. The adversarial system is the best system in the world. Really? So fighting to the death is the best system in the world? And is it any surprise that 80 or more %, someone should look this statistic up, of all the people that become politicians, how many are lawyers? Practically all of them.
Yeah.
Practically all our politicians are lawyers first. They've been programmed that the adversarial way, not listening to the other person. Have you ever seen a lawyer in the law court listen to the other lawyer and actually go, hey, that's an interesting point. We're really after the truth here. We're after the real truth. We're not just after winning at all costs. Have you ever seen that? No, I've never seen that. Not even on Perry Mason did that ever happen. Right? So how do you expect then to have true philosophical finding the right thing the way the Greeks originally meant it? We have their goddamn pillars on our buildings, but we're not doing anything that the Greeks intended it to be like. We use their pillars to make it look like it's some effing temple. But let me tell you, we're not doing anything godly inside those, because those pillars are on banks and on fake government buildings. Am I pissed? Yeah, I'm pissed. Should we be pissed? Yeah, we should be effing pissed. We should wake up about this. There's no civil discourse. There's no exchange. Fools argue, wise people discuss. Hey, two heads are better than one. Have you ever heard that one? Or shall we bash each other's heads together? Shall we just put on ram's horns and go in there and here's Senator Byrd in this corner, and here's Senator Dinkeldorfer in this corner. Ready? Ding, 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 go for it. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. When what's the idiotic pundits on TV talking Republican side and the left and the right, There's no opening. There's no opening at all. There's not even an open mind around. Never mind an open heart. That would be like unbelievable to wish for there would be an open heart. There's not even one open mind there.